Wait till the
What up, 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 what up? What's going on here, America? It's us once again, us being Rod and Don. We in the building as always. Brooklyn Bears Ball Sports Show. We getting it in. You know how we do. Oh man, it's so much good stuff to talk about. We got the thick of the NBA playoffs that's still popping and a lot of the crazy stuff. Crazy NFL transaction today too. But listen, we got to get y'all to do us a favor before we get into another fire episode. We need you to smash that L button, hit that like button for us, okay? We need you to share. We need you to like. We need you to comment. We need you to just get engaged with us like y'all been doing. Shout out to y'all that's been holding us down, commenting on us with the reels and everything like that, y'all. Like I said, shout out to my boy D and Kingdom Creative Productions. They're doing it, man. They're making my job easy, man. I just come here and talk while they do all the hard work. You know, like I said, when the proceeds come in, it's 90-10.
Oh,
Trust me,
right.
trust me. But it's all good, man. Listen, D, what's good with you, bro?
Oh man, just a quick correction. It's 95.5.
Oh,
But in any
95.
case,
Okay.
yeah. So it's 95.5. But listen, we
I need to
have
get a reel in.
a really good show. Right.
Yeah.
We have a really good show ahead. We got to talk about some playoffs. We got to talk about the injuries. Injuries have totally impacted the first round. But without further ado, let's get into it. NBA first round has been completely or almost completely plagued by injuries. I mean, we had some really, I think the outcome of some of these playoff series have been directly impacted by injuries. You see that, of course, Rod, you predicted, you were spot on when you said Giannis somehow, some way was going to find himself in playing. Now I'm looking, he's supposed to be playing today. So I'm sure now it's interested. He's looking to play. He needs to play. His team can't win without him, you know? So I don't know if he was load managing as you suggested, but it appears if you are injured that badly, I mean, this is the playoffs. So there are days in between. And when they travel, they get sometimes an additional 2 days, maybe 3. So he's had a good amount of time to heal up. You know, he's getting treatment around the clock.
Yep.
Best doctors. But clearly, you know, he saw the need to either take a shot, whatever he needed to do to make sure he was there, because this is a pivotal game for them. And you can't play around with Miami. You mess around and you'll lose. What do you say?
Facts. No, I totally agree with you, D. You're right about that. And as we were saying in the last episode, yeah, Giannis definitely was low managing. Had Miami lost or Milwaukee pulled out that game, that last game, then that would buy Giannis some more time, but that wasn't the case. And you know, you're right. I called it about Giannis being able to, he's going to have to play. That was just it. Like you say, he was going to have to play. But like you said, Miami is a team you don't want to play with, right? That's not a team you want to fool around with. And as I say, you know, play with your fool, man, because if they'd have done that, it would have been a problem if Giannis is not playing. So like I said, these guys are not injured. They're hurt. They got some bumps. They got some bruises. And some of these injuries might be a little bit more excuse me, than probably what they would be, you know, if it's a regular season, right? They'll take some games or whatever. But look, man, when it's the playoffs, nobody's trying to hear that. You got to play. All right. Like I said, if your legs ain't amputated, or arms or something ain't decapitated, you got to play. And that's just simple as that. So, like you said, Giannis around the clock treatment, got the best doctors. Let's get it in. So I'm sure, he'll play tonight. And I believe Milwaukee will prevail because of such.
Well, we hope so. Another series that has been directly impacted is the Suns and the Clippers. I mean, listen, I had my doubts in the beginning when this series, because, you know, obviously if you put arguably one of the best players in the league on a team with Devin Booker, CP3, you know, you're imagining that team is going to be unstoppable, right? But unfortunately for them, they gave up their entire bench in order to acquire, you know, Kevin Durant. And as a result, the team is top heavy. But if you really think about it, deeper teams, they're going to have an issue with. And, you know, the Clippers are an extremely deep team. But, of course, missing Paul George was already going to make it difficult for them, because you weren't sure what you were going to get out of the other players, right? You didn't know what you were going to get out of Westbrook, right? You had Kawhi and you felt confident, all right, Kawhi is going to do his thing, and he looked really good. And now you have Westbrook. We don't know, is Ty Lue, how is he going to kind of manipulate his time? How is he going to balance, having Westbrook in? Is it too much, too little? And hey, maybe if we can kind of somehow get through the first round, we can get Paul George back. With the cavalry will be, fully loaded, and we can really make a push into the playoffs deep and try to go to the finals, a Western Conference Finals, and maybe to the finals. But Kawhi is injured. So now you don't have Paul George and you don't have Kawhi Leonard. And up against a team that is as efficient as, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, it's just insurmountable. And it's unfortunate because injuries are directly affecting the outcome. Because I really feel confident that if the Clippers at full strength, they would beat the Suns as currently constructed because they have no bench.
Right.
Starting five for starting five, okay, maybe some of them cancel each other out, but when the Clippers can keep pumping, Norman Powell, and they could start pulling people off the bench, Bones Highland, you could pull these players off the bench and they can still produce in the absence of the starters, give them a blow and let them come back in. You don't have that with the Suns. So I think it's unfortunate. And I think Ballmer is going to have to make a hard decision, a hard choice. I know they're getting their own facility and they won't be, the little brother to the Lakers anymore. I mean, maybe they always will be in the minds of LA fans and locally, but they're getting their own space. So maybe you can't let go of a superstar name-wise.
No.
You might be stuck with Kawhi. You might be just stuck with Paul George and try it again because it's about ticket sales, right? You really need to bring those high-powered names and the promise of what could be. I mean, look, this is what the Cowboys do every year. But we're still not talking about football yet. But yet, if you bring these players and each year it ends in disappointment, there's one thing for being disappointed and not having, any superstars or losing your superstars mid-season or towards the playoffs, i.e. Brooklyn. But it's a difference where your players are injured and really can't do anything for you, and you watch a team that you are superior to, if fully equipped, and they're gonna lose. I mean, it's inevitable. Westbrook is playing out of his mind. He's playing more like the Houston Westbrook, more like the OKC when Kevin Durant Westbrook left. When Kevin Durant left, that Westbrook MVP type of Westbrook.
That's
but
right.
It's all for naught. What do you say?
No, I agree, and I think the sad part is, with Ballmer and the brass there with the Clippers, you got a new stadium you're getting ready to build, right? You can't get rid of Kawhi unless you trade him for another superstar. But again, like Anthony Davis, like the Kyries to some extent, and I would even maybe go as far as the Kevin Durant to that degree. These guys just can't stay healthy, and you can't invest hundreds of millions of dollars in these guys. And you can't, even if they weren't building a new stadium, right? Even if Ballmer said, look, I've had enough of Kawhi. I'm done. I'm moving on from him. If you go ahead and make it public or try to trade him, right? And I don't know if he has a no trade clause or anything. I think he has a no trade clause. But at the end again, he may not be. I don't know. But the reality is that players talk. That means the Clippers front office is going to look really bad, and no one's going to play for them in the future, right? Because they saw what you did to KD. With Kawhi. And anytime players want to trade someone, that's why it always has to look like the player wants to be out. But in a lot of ways, ownership is kind of glad that they're doing that, or they may behind the scenes manipulate a few things to get the players to come to that point where they want to be traded. But that's the unfortunate part, and that's the risk that you take. And Kawhi is just not that guy. He stays injured. Same thing with Paul George. George gets hurt a lot too, and it's unfortunate that he got hurt at the timing that he did, but you still hope that the series would have been interesting had Kawhi was able to stay healthy, right? Because to your point, they got a lot of depth. They got a bench. They got some guys that can score. Powell is really, really good. Other guys that can get the ball done. And Westbrook is playing out of his mind. And you kind of feel bad for Westbrook because with all this good play going to waste, right? He could have really been that second punch or that Robin to Kawhi Batman, at least for this series, until Paul George got back. But unfortunately, we won't see that, right? Because Kawhi is yet hurt again. And I just don't get it. I told you this in the last episode. I don't understand these superstars today. I don't get why they're so hurt with all the load management, the advanced medicine, the treatment that these guys get. I mean, I don't understand why they just can't stay healthy and these chronic injuries over and over and over again. And you want to say, well, is it attributed to age? Well, I don't know, right? Because these guys aren't that old. I mean, why don't they all just go find out what LeBron is doing, right? And I know everybody's body is built differently, so there's a different application to what you do to try to keep yourself in basketball shape and try to lessen injuries. But like, yo, whatever LeBron's doing, go do. Find out. Like, what did he? I mean, the dude invests $1 million a year in his body, right? So we know for what, $20 million, LeBron is, for the most part, has been able to stay healthy for most of his career until just recently when he's expected to break down. But like, you know, KD on a free throw line in a warm-up layup line getting hurt, and Paul George is hurt, and Kawhi stays injured. It's frustrating. And if I'm the owners, man, I'm telling you, I'll be frustrated. And I'll be honest, if I'm Ballmer, I'm like, you know what? Let's have a meeting. Let's sit with the brass. Let's sit with the ownership and say, guys, what do we need to do? Because this ain't happening. This ain't working. And he's only getting older, which means he's only going to stay hurt more. So anyway, I agree with you. Series of wrap. But Phoenix is going to be interesting to see because they don't have the depth. So I think at some point, either in the semis or the conference finals, I think you might see, Phoenix struggle, and because they don't have that bench. And God forbid, and I'm not hoping for this, obviously, but, KD, again, you just hope he stays healthy through the remainder of the playoffs if Phoenix is to have a chance, because that's all they're going to have because they don't have a bench.
Yeah, and just what you mentioned, I disagree with one point that you said that if they move on from the Clippers, people would not want to go there anymore. I think for what Kawhi has given them, I think a fair exchange is not robbery. I think they paid him well, and they have no rate of return. They haven't gotten anything for the amount of money. He just signed in, I think, last July an extension. So they're paying him big money. And think about it, since he's been there. Injury after injury. So they are paying upwards of $40 million to rehab.
Right.
So if there's a team that's interested and they decide to part ways, that shouldn't sour the other NBA players that potentially would look to go there, because they did pay him, they good did, money to not really produce.
But the players don't see it that way, right? Like, in other words, in their mind, if it's just say, hey, the Clippers traded me because I can't stay healthy. Players that stay hurt, right? And players that, have the propensity to get hurt, or they're going to put in their mind, right? Because players, agents, they all talk, right? And they'll say, look, man, don't get hurt. You played the Clippers. You miss a game because they're already salty with Kawhi. You saw they pushed him out. So I'm just want to tell you, if you get an ACL or you tear something and you out for the rest of the year, or you slow on the rehab and you don't come back to the middle of the following year, just be on the lookout. Like, they could be on some nonsense. So that's the only thing. I get what you're saying from the ownership standpoint.
And I don't think they gave him,
and I wouldn't blame them, but
I don't think they pressured him though. I don't think they pressured Kawhi. I don't think he was like, when is he coming back? When is he coming back? I think they have been extremely patient with his rehab, because that obviously they're going to be. Well, no, not San Antonio. That's what got him out of San Antonio, because there was a conflict of interest or a conflict between what his personal doctor and what the team doctor was saying. Right. So I think coming to the Clippers, there was going to be none of that, because they already know whether it's his uncle or him. That's a sore subject. So they're not going to press him. If he says he has his big toe hurts, they took it as, hey, he's hurt. So I think if you listen, how long are you going to allow somebody? And I get it. These are elite athletes.
I agree with you.
They are high, big names. And we see he is still a really good two-way player.
Absolutely.
He had glimpses of the Kawhi that we know and love, as far as his scoring ability and his defense.
Yeah.
But at some point, you can't pay big money for just potential. You
No, and
just can't.
again, I
You
totally
can't.
agree. I totally agree. I just think that the fraternity amongst the players and it being a player driven league and the power that the players hold, particularly superstars, I think it's not gonna. I'm just saying this quickly. It's going to look very pessimistic against the Clippers ownership, and the Clippers, as we know, have been, I mean, completely embattled in their history with what we can see. There's just bad luck, if I could just say that, just because I can't think of anything else to say. That has really been bad for them. And so, to new stadium, and that they need the cachet of a name to bring people in and sell tickets. They're in a tough spot, and Kawhi he's not going to get any healthier. He's going to be just that dude, a superstar that's his best years are behind him as far as championship status is concerned. It's not going to happen. And so I think that's what they're looking at. And I think they'll just weigh it out. And they got 3-4 more years to be in that situation. So I agree with you, but I think the players, it could look bad. They're worried about their reputation.
I think
the
they only have 2 years because I think he signed a 3-year extension. But
He
I
signed
don't
a
know.
3-year
I don't know how
extension.
much he had left. So maybe you're right. Maybe he has 3 or 4 years left.
Yeah.
But in any case, that's something that they're definitely going to have to figure out. Let's quickly talk about the Warriors and Sacramento Kings. Now, the Warriors, they showed some grit to ultimately tie the series. It's a game that they could have lost. It came down to they had an opportunity. Maybe Mike Brown could have made a better decision to get the ball in, De'Aaron Fox's hands instead of Harrison Barnes. I mean, De'Aaron Fox was on fire, so that would be the person that you would want to take the final shot. But as it were, Harrison Barnes got the shot. Could have been a game winner. It didn't happen.
Right.
But unfortunately, or fortunately for the Warriors, now I'll tell you this. Ultimately, I said last show, and I still believe it's a good story, right? The Kings are a good story, but ultimately, what fans want to see is they want to see big names. They want superstars, not budding superstars, not, hey, as everyone says, this person is growing up right before your eyes. That's all well and good. Maybe that's next year. But this year, they want to see the Warriors. They want to see the Lakers. They want to see Memphis. Those are the teams that they want some way, somehow, a combination of those. They want those to advance to the second round. They really, it's a good story, but with De'Aaron Fox now he has a fracture in his finger. I think that also is some news that is music to Warriors ears, right? Because they're going back to Sacramento, and the Warriors have a terrible road. They've only won 11 games on the road. So where it was going to be a pressure situation already for the Kings because they lost 2 games in a row, and now they're coming back, and now it's a 3-game series. Anyone can win, and they don't have that experience that the Warriors have. But now their superstar, who they can't win without, if he's compromised, it's a wrap. What do you say?
No, I agree with you, and I want to say, kudos to Steph, right? Who's not considered known for his defense. I thought he actually played pretty good defense on that last play against De'Aaron Fox, because with Fox, what he did, he was able to get in there and poke the ball out. That totally took him off his rhythm and getting to the spot. Then he got the reinforcement from Draymond. So then he had no choice but to get it out to Harrison. And clearly that's not the shot you want. Not that Harris couldn't kind of make that shot, but I mean, he had a good look. But, obviously you want Fox taking the shot there. So kudos to Steph on the defense. I thought he played enough defense to take Fox off his spot and get him from getting to where he wanted to be until Draymond got there to lay that extra layer of defense there on the double team. But I agree with you there. I think now, I do disagree. I don't think it's a scenario of Memphis and Golden State. People want to see LeBron. I mean, LeBron, Ja's highlight material. He's, people like to see him fly and leap over buildings and all that stuff. But no, people want to see the Lakers. Trust me, not Memphis and Golden State. They want to see the Lakers. No question. Only thing you're gonna get out of the Golden State Memphis series is a bunch of Brooks talking and his crap and all that stuff. That's all you're gonna get. That's all you're gonna get. You're not gonna get anything else. But no, I agree with you there. Now, it doesn't feel contrived to me, this series. It doesn't feel like it's anything that, the NBA, I did text you that earlier, but I said that kind of, just in jest. I think, really, in all honesty, I still think the Kings will prevail. I still think that even though Golden State has played well on the road because they got their full complementary of players back with Wiggins and the crew, but I still think they will get this series done. But but Fox's finger, that is something we talked about in the pre-production, excuse me. Again, holding the ball, it's an index finger, has a lot to do with how you secure that ball before it's released. I'm not some shooting expert. I didn't go to Ray Allen's class for shooting threes, but what I'm saying is that there's a lot that still comes with that, with the left hand and the dribble, right? How he can handle. We saw Ja having some problems with that in the earlier part of the first half with the Laker game. So, now if he's getting accustomed to it and finding ways to kind of, overcome that to some degree, then so be it. That is a huge injury there, and we'll see how they're able to overcome that. But I still like the Kings in this, nevertheless. But I agree with you. We would love to see Golden State and the Lakers, to be quite honest with you. So
yeah, that would be an exciting series.
It really would. Mm-hmm.
But the Lakers have to get through Memphis first, right?
We do.
We got a game coming up tonight. Lakers versus Memphis.
Yep.
And that is going to be an exciting game. Yep. This is a important game for both teams for different reasons.
Right.
I personally think, based on the way the series is played out, this is a underwhelming game for Anthony Davis, based on the zigzag theory. And I know people usually use zigzag theory for betting, but this is a zigzag theory based on how he's been playing. Good game, bad game. Good game. This is a bad game. This is a under 20 points game. And really, as it's been said before, LeBron, being 38 years old, 20 years in the league, he should not be the primary scorer when you have a lot of young people around you.
Here we go.
And I mean, realistically speaking, I mean, I'm looking for it to be a really good game, competitive, and I think the series is going to go probably 7 games. I think it will go 7. But I think for LeBron, and it's vitally important for Anthony Davis to kind of break out of that mold of not having 2 consecutive, really good games. And he needs, if he has a good game, you guys may be able to do it in 6. But if you don't, and he has one of those underwhelming, kind of nonchalant games, you guys, it's going 7. What do you say?
Listen, again, the zigzag theory or whatever you want to call it, again, it's complete. It's cap. It doesn't mean anything because there's no real evidence yet. He just had a bad game 2, performed in game 3 like he's expected to perform. And AD, just so you know, for his career in the playoffs, he averages 27 points a game in the playoffs. So there's no zigzag.
You can't give me his career.
Inconsistency.
That's not accurate. That's not. Don't. It's accurate, but it doesn't.
How is it not accurate?
I don't
understand.
So I'll say that it's accurate from an average standpoint, but I'm more interested in giving me his playoff average with the Lakers, not while he was in New Orleans, because he was the only game in town. So he was
okay. So what happened was in 2020 when he won when he went to the playoffs that first year, he played in 21 games. He averaged 27.7. We rounded off to 28. Okay. In 2021, he only played 5 games. Okay, he played 5 games in 2021, and he averaged 17 points per game. But
a 10-point drop. Okay,
right, but he only played an average of 28 minutes in those games. Remember, he got hurt. He got hurt. He got hurt.
Did they prevent him from playing? Did they say he can't play those games? Was it a vaccination?
Remember, he got hurt in game 3. We was up 2-1.
Okay. So whose problem is that?
What do you mean? Whose problem is that? What do you mean?
He played 5 games.
Yeah.
His average dropped by 10 points.
Yeah.
Right? From 27 to 17. So we're going the wrong way. And he was not available. His availability was a problem.
Well, we're not talking about availability. We just talking about his average.
Okay.
But D, you still can't knock his average overall as a player, because you're talking, like, in other words, again, You can't knock off the 2 years he played in the playoffs in 15 and 18 with the Pelicans, right? And he averaged 32 and 30 in those games. All right. And actually 2018, he had 9 games. So clearly he advanced. They was in the second round in that year, and he averaged 30 points in that game. Like AD can perform in the playoffs. He can. He can play some big basketball. But the thing is, this zigzag, or you're anticipating based on whatever this pattern that you see here, that he's going to now have a bad game tonight because he had a good game the last game, and then underperformed in game 2, but play well in game 1. No, it's not. I think AD is going to rock out because last game, AD was very aggressive. Game 2, for whatever reason, the whole team played bad. I think the whole team was bad, not just AD. Everybody was bad. Even if we didn't get a good AD, we still could have gotten a better performance from other guys in game 2. But we didn't. The whole team was lackadaisical, no effort, no urgency from any of them. So it was a bad performance as a team. But yes, I understand AD is the superstar, so a lot's going to fall on him. But in game 3, he got more aggressive in the second half, right? Because the first half, everybody was dropping. Everybody was scoring. And Memphis played so bad that AD didn't necessarily have to really go off. But when we needed the buckets to keep Memphis at bay, when it was cutting the lead down to 13, we go back up by 18, went back up by 19 again. AD got some big buckets, did some nice turnarounds, got aggressive, didn't stop and hold the ball in the paint, look around, see who's in the stands, just seeing if he's looking for his mother or somebody hanging around or whatever before he makes a move. He got the ball in the paint, and then he made his moves. I hate when he does that. I just don't understand why he takes so long to get his move. Just sit there. So, I mean, he's going to play well tonight if he stays aggressive.
So I will say this.
Will. Okay.
And a bad game for AD in the playoffs can never be 13 points.
Like it was in game 2?
His bad games should be 20 points. I mean, he's a dominant player.
I agree.
And I'm actually giving him credit. I'm not trying to be funny at all.
No,
you can't. A player of his stature and a player of his skill cannot give you 13 points in the playoffs. It's unacceptable. 20 points should be his bare. Like he should, when he steps out on the court, it should just almost be a walking 20 points. It shouldn't be anything where 13 and 9. That's terrible.
But he gives you that though. He gives you on average. That's why you have averages. You can't take one bad game and then say, "Yo, AD is not living up to the level that he should live up to, or he's not giving you what." That's one game, but outside of that one game, he's still giving you 20 or better.
So with the beautiful thing about it is we're filming this early, so we'll know. If I was right with the zigzag theory, you think that is off the wall, right?
I think this is a perfect time to test your theory.
We're going to see if he has an underwhelming game. If AD, I'll be pleasantly surprised if Anthony Davis has 2 games back-to-back where he performs and he's aggressive.
Why would you be surprised by that?
I'm not saying he can't. Will he? It's will.
But I believe, I mean, yes, I understand your point.
Choose ye this day. Are you going to score?
He will be. I'm going to tell you why he will be. Because honestly speaking, they're going to need that. It's like I told you about his injuries, why he's been more healthy, or at least playing through pain in the last 2 months, right? Pretty much since the trade deadline. Because for whatever reason, either AD came to this awareness or LeBron sat him down and said, "Yo, bro, I don't care how many times you fall, stumble, cartwheel, your ankle flips over your head, your arm flies into the third row. I need you to go out there, ask for the fans for your arm back, put your arm back on, and you need to play. Like, you got to play through pain. That's like the only way you're going to get there." And I think that's what he's going to, and that's what he's learning how to do. So what I'm saying is, with that mentality, if they tell him the same thing, "Yo, bro, we need you aggressive. Get the ball, do your thing." And that's what we need you to do. And I think he's going to do that. I think he is going to come out and play that way. So we'll put your theory to test. We'll put zigzag theory to test.
One of us will be right, and one of us will be wrong. So time will tell. It's going to be exciting. Either way, it's going to be a good game. Yeah. I mean, because based on how Anthony Davis played last game, he was really aggressive. Right. They looked really good as a team. And pretty much not often can you win a game in the first quarter. But last game they won in the first quarter. I mean, the game was pretty much over. They just
Yeah.
maintained for the
Yeah, we
rest of,
maintain. Yeah, for the rest of the game. Yeah,
so
yeah.
Ja looked
That's
good,
fair. That's fair to say.
putting up 22 straight points and all that stuff, but it
That's
was
what
in a
I'm
losing
concerned with.
effort.
Yeah.
Now, if he picks up where he left off, then you might have some concern. If he can be aggressive and somehow get your bigs or or even your guards or whoever's guarding him in foul trouble, then that might be a whole nother thing with him being aggressive.
Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah.
Bane really didn't have a good game. So we'll see what happens. But
No.
overall, it should be good. It should be
No,
a
it's going to be
good,
a good game.
exciting
Yeah,
game.
it should
We
be.
know that, it's important. It's a pivotal game. So
Very,
we'll see what
very.
happens. But
Yeah.
real quick, let me
Okay.
let me get a score from you. Like
A score?
not
Oh, wow.
just Lakers by, not an
Lakers
exact
by.
score.
Okay,
It's
not
not
an exact score.
football's
Okay.
a little
All right.
tough. Football's
All right.
easier to do. We're talking
Yeah. I was
Lakers
gonna
by.
say, yeah, I never predicted.
I think the spread is
score.
like 5.5 points.
Is this 5.5?
So,
Yeah. So I got
yeah.
the as y'all would say in the betting world, right? You take the points. Does that mean take the points? Like in other words, you take you believe they'll win by 5, right? Is that the same?
Right. So if no, that means the Lakers will cover.
They'll cover.
If you say
right?
that means they'll win by more than 5.
They'll win by more than 5, right? Yeah, I like the Lakers. I think it's going to go down to a very close game. Unfortunately, to say that, I think it's going to be close because I don't think we would have the same type of start out the way we did in the last game in the first quarter. I don't think we'll see that again. Honestly, I think the Lakers will win by 6.
Okay, so they'll cover.
Yeah, we'll cover. No, we'll cover. Okay.
We'll
go by 6. Yeah, we'll win by 6.
I like Memphis. I like Memphis tonight.
Right.
I think Memphis will win by 8.
Okay.
Memphis by 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like
All
Memphis.
Right.
I like if they play the way they should play in order to win, because let's face it, the Lakers have a distinct advantage. They have an advantage with maturity. They have an advantage player for player, right? Because you got Ja Morant, you got Triple J, but I mean, really, when it matches up, you have an advantage, Lakers. The Lakers overall,
right,
defensively and offensively, if they play aggressive and they play Laker basketball, they should beat them, right?
Yeah,
but I think you have to see I think the Lakers at all of the players, maybe LeBron knows it, but all of the Lakers have to buy into the importance of winning this game.
Correct.
You don't have home court advantage, or to lose home court advantage by losing this game, it puts pressure on you because if it goes 7 games, it's back in Memphis, right? So you have to control what you can control, right?
I agree. No, I
you
totally
got
agree with that.
you got the Zebras on your side. You got 5 players. You got the Zebras assisting. You got the crowd. You got to maximize that. And
no, you're right. You're right. We got to take this game tonight. We need this game. This game is critical, like game 2 was critical. That's why I said we would have been 3-0 if we would have taken game 2 with a little bit more urgency. So tonight is a night. I totally agree. We need this game tonight. The Lakers have to play above their opponent. This team is decimated as they are and key players out. It really shouldn't be, despite of what Ja does. I agree. But we got to trap him, get the ball out of his hand, let these other guys beat us, because he almost single-handedly almost beat us. But again, we had enough cushion, even going way back to the first quarter of that game, that gave us enough bandwidth and some latitude to kind of give up some points on that lead. But we still was, for all intents and purposes, almost still comfortable. But it still got a little scary for me. And so you got to shut down Ja. They're going to have to definitely double down on him and make sure that they get the ball out of his hand. And you got to get back on defense. You're going to have to rebound, limit them to one shot. And you're going to have to swarm on defense and play defense along the perimeter to protect that 3-point, because that's where they was definitely getting us. And you know who's a little sneaky good? I'll say this and I'll throw it back to you. You can close or whatever. But it was I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm bad with these names, but it sounds like Obama. His name sounds like Obama.
I think it's like Llama or something. I know who you're talking about.
He is a problem. He's a problem.
He can hit open threes. If you give him some space,
give that dude space. He is dangerous. So the Lakers got to really be careful, because what Brooks or Bane may not give you, that guy could easily give you a sneaky 23 points on the low and hit about 4 or 5 threes before it's all over. So we got to be careful with that. So yeah, but we'll see. We'll see tonight. We'll see tonight.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward.
Should be
to
interesting, man. Should be interesting.
It will.
But listen, once again, like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook
Please.
and YouTube page. You know, Rod has the Lakers winning by 6. I have Memphis winning by 8 tonight. One of us will be right. One of us will be wrong. Will AD really be the aggressive AD necessary for the Lakers? The zigzag theory. Will AD step up to the plate, or will he go into a lull and allow, you know, the game to come to him? Listen, like, share, subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. Once again, shout outs to Infinite Audio for the music. We appreciate you. Hear that? That music is it's nice. Shout outs to Kingdom Creative for the production. I mean, what would we do if we didn't have such a great production team? And once again, what could we do without you guys? We appreciate all the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I've said that enough. Until next time, peace.